Hi, I'm Christian Fulkerson. I'm 20 years old, and this is why I'm a first Phorm athlete. I've been an athlete ever since first grade school. It started off with me running on a track field with a bunch of elementary kids, and a football coach happened to notice me as I was beating all the kids way out of their shoes. It then led to me starting football in fourth grade all the way to my senior year of high school. I know a little bit about adversity and overcoming obstacles along the way. My seventh grade of football, in our first game, I actually broke my left humerus bone on, there was this huge dog pile, and this kid flew in with his helmet and completely split the bone in half. I ended up having to sit out, obviously, for the rest of the season, and it was tragic, it was frustrating, but I knew that I had a destiny in football, I had special gifts and talents, and I knew I wasn't going to give up. That then transitioned into my eighth grade year, where we ended up winning the championship game. Halfway through that season though, I got my thumb stepped on and broke it. I knew I wasn't gonna give up then, so I actually got it casted and ended up having it wrapped like ginormous across my arm every game, started in our championship game as a corner, and we ended up winning that whole season. Then my ninth grade season, coming into football that year, about halfway through the season again, I snapped my tibia bone in my ankle, then leading me to no longer continuing out that season. Then track season comes up, and I end up tearing both of my hip flexors and wasn't able to finish that season of track either. So then, coming up to my 10th grade year, I skipped the football season in recovery. There was no way I was going to be able to compete properly. So I gave myself some rest and time, joined back up in football during the off season. I ended up qualifying for state in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and 4x1 for New Mexico. We then went and got a couple medals, brought them home. Then my junior year season, I ended up getting a concussion again halfway through the season. And at that point, you know, it's pretty rough because you're not able to play as much. I did a whole lot of sitting out and recovering rather than playing. That then led to me, I ended up getting to play our last game for the junior season. And then my hardest and toughest year yet came my senior year. That year in track again, I qualified for staying the 100, 200, 4x1. I was one of the fastest kids on our team, and debatably one of the fastest kids for 5A in New Mexico. Leading up to that, our first day in pads for football for the season, I ended up shredding my ACL by hyperextending my knee on a pass play. That then led to me sitting out my entire senior season, and the only play I got to go in because of my awesome coach was our last play and the last play of our game, which technically wasn't legal. I should not have gone in, but it was my only chance for my senior season to go in there and be able to play the last play of the game. Now, with that shredded ACL, the doctors told me I wouldn't be able to play track for my senior season either. I decided that that was not the case. In our hometown, our family, Fulkersons, we don't give up. We push hard. We got multiple family businesses. We're previous ranchers. We don't give up on anything. So I ended up proving the doctors wrong and ended up ran a qualifying state time in the 100-meter dash in our very first track meet of that season with a partial knee brace. And then it gets even worse. We're 2 weeks out from state, and I pull my hamstring during practice and go knee first into the track. I end up splitting my kneecap in half. I rolled, hit my head. I look over, and there's a ginormous hole in my knee. And at that point, I think I've completely retore my ACL. You know, my knee's gone. You could have poured water into where my kneecap was, and it would have held because both bones were perfectly in half. So that once again led to me not being able to compete at state and sitting out for another my actual last season of track. And I was based to be about the top 3 in the 100-meter dash, and we probably would have got some other medals for our relays. So that went by. That was very tough and very disheartening. I ended up gaining 15 to 20 pounds after surgery because of the mental side that goes into just, well, what's the point now? Why even go any further? I hardly get to play. I hardly get to do anything. I missed out on majority of the activities of my senior year because I was injured, couldn't move. I had to have my legs straight for 6 weeks. I still have a wire that's, my kneecap is sealed, but that wire is still there. So I decided one day, I looked in the mirror and I had a little tummy and I was like, this is just not the way to go. This is not me. I ended up going to work out. I was actually working out while my knee was still partially bent because of the amount of weight I had got. And that's when I started weightlifting and getting into the protein supplements. Because during high school, I wasn't able to afford that. I started my own personal journey through fitness and the start of business. I then decided to do a year of college out here in Roswell, and then I went to New Mexico State, and I ended up joining a fraternity out there because of their standards and what they do. I joined Sigma Chi. They're a group of businessmen. Yes, they do party. Yes, we have fun, but we had the highest GPA in school. And I ended up deciding at the end of that semester that college just wasn't for me. And my dad offered me a business position to have part owner in our pipe and drape company, Relicwood Events. And then I also helped him out with his Relicwood Media and Roswell Film Festival. Well, I ended up accruing about $4 to $5 grand in debt for going to school that semester. And so I knew I had to get that off my plate. So I decided to go to the oil field. I did 2 wells, about 2 months, I believe, a month and a half out in Odessa, 12-hour shifts, sometimes 11 days straight of 108 degrees out in Odessa, Texas on an oil rig. I was considered a roughneck, somebody that does everything, does anything. I actually did not get injured, thank the Lord. And now I ended up paying off that debt, and I ended up going to do farming until my dad was ready for me. So I did farming for about, I would say, 2-3 months. Ended up driving a Jaguar 980 chopper, ran it through corn, did our whole season. And then when my dad was ready, I then started in helping him in his journey and our journey together as we start our own business. And that's where Andy Frisella, my dad got me turned on to him with his MFCEO podcast. And been listening to him ever since. Guys like Ed Milet, Bedros Koulian, all those guys, they've been a huge help. And Andy is, there's nothing that I could give to him that he overall has helped me in every area, fitness, business, and he's continuing to help us daily. And now with his new podcast, Real AF, I'm just in love. It's amazing. It shows me that even though I'm young, I can still go out and get things done no matter the time. He spent the time, he put in the time and effort, he put in the work, and that's why I'm here now. I've been working through NASM to get my certified personal trainer. I unfortunately did not pass my first test, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to quit trying. But that is on the way. And I am now, I've been taking your supplements, First Phorm, for quite a while now, the OptiGreens 50. My dad and I have an issue to where we can't really eat vegetables. We'll get sick, and quite honestly, it's disgusting. But these OptiGreens 50 have been amazing, absolutely incredible. It's helped with my overall health, my gut health, everything. And now the protein and supplements, I actually have your gym stack coming in today, actually. So I can't wait to get those supplements and products in here so I can start using them. Thank you guys for everything that you have done for me, both in the fitness and business realm. And I'm continuing to improve myself every day. Listen to Andy and all those guys, and just continuing to improve. So thank you, First Phorm. I'm proud to be a part and being able to represent your brand and take your supplements. Thank you.